Taoist Magic Talk Show brought to you by Taoist Master จี师傅 and King Dragon Taoism ผู้เรียงเทียนจวน Hi everyone, welcome back to the show. This is your จี师傅 right here. Welcome back to another Taoism and Taoist Magic topic. Continuing from our previous episode, we talked about this thing about like how I got into Taoism and what has Taoism brought me to, and what's so attractive about this stuff. Like, why, out of so many things, why don't you just believe in science? Well, yeah, we talked about science as a religion in the previous episode too. Because a lot of people, maybe you too, right? You have been believing science and not really knowing science. Like a lot of people believe in the EMF, electric field. Sounds like Indian now. Yeah, the EMF stuff, right? You believe in that stuff. And you don't actually see it. You don't know it. You just do what it takes because you believe it will harm you. Did it harm you yet? Hell knows, right? Yeah, it's a belief, right? So a lot of people are like that. You believe, you don't really see it. But you know what? Why I got into Taoism, how it got started. Maybe some of you will be having the same kind of sparking point too. Okay, so I started because when I was young, like 3 to 4 years old time, right? I already see ghosts. That's the thing. So when you started seeing ghosts, then you will want to know what the heck are these things and how come no one sees it but you do. How do I deal with these things, right? So yeah, my biological father died when I was like 3 to 4 or 4, something like that, right? And then I started seeing things after his death. So I was like, did he came back? So people are like, yeah, he's coming back. And you see these things come in, go through the wall, enter the room, and then disappear. And you're like, what the heck is that? Was I scared? Not really, because it's like, those things don't see me. I see them, they don't see me. So I'm like, just kind of curious, what are those things? Right? And eventually the word ghost came to me. Okay, so people are talking about ghosts. Okay, so what's the fix for these things? Like, you know, people are invading our house. They come into our house. How can we deal with it, right? It's like you see ants, then you know you have to spray that stuff to get the ants out. Okay, so what is the fix? We get sick, we have a doctor. We have ghosts, what do we find? Okay, so the next thing that happened is that my family started to watch a lot of vampires movie, Chinese vampire, 僵尸, the hopping ones. If you're old enough, you should know what LD is. The LD stands for laser disc. It's a huge disc. Like, you know, CD, right? It's like 10 times the size. You can actually kill someone with that. It's so big. We watch movies in LDs, and the LDs have two sides. You have to flip it. Okay, but back in the old days, I thought that was really nice. Like, the quality of the image is actually pretty good, at least at that time, in my memory. So my family don't like me watching these things because I was still very baby, right? But somehow I just want to watch it. And then I started watching it from like the hallway, peeking out the gap. And then eventually I got into the living room and I started watching. So the more I watched, the more I was like, So these things like, you know, vampire, ghosts, they're like the same category. So you need this guy, right, who is like a Taoist, to deal with it. There's like magic that deals with it. Okay. So I want to learn this stuff because I want to deal with this. I want to protect my home, my family, like things coming in and out. What the heck? So that's what sparked me up. I want to know more about like what those things are, and are there actually, those special power. And eventually it brings me to like actually seeing that there's like this actual group out there. They are practicing stuff that deals with these things. And then that brings me to realize, hey, you know what? It's not a movie. It's not just a movie. It should be something real. Like, yeah, the movie, it could be fake, but there should be something that is like, that stuff is actually real. It should be there. It's just that not as cinematic, right? So I was like searching a lot about what is ghosts, how other people encounter ghosts, and all that stuff. And it has been like a mix of this and that all the time. So it's really hard to find a way to explain to myself about all these mysterious and unseen stuff. They don't teach it in the school. When you talk about these things in the school, no one cares. Like, they say you're crazy. But if I'm crazy, how come there are actually religious people that deals with these things, right? I'm not crazy. It's just that they're too young. They don't understand. So eventually I went through some, not just one, but a few sects. I went into a few sects different times, right? And I learned a bit here, a bit there, right? And I learned. And funny enough, I learned stuff to like protect myself, and I learned stuff that allows me to protect the people around me. And then I have friends, I have relatives who actually got into spiritual problem as I grow up. And I use what I have learned to protect them. And it worked. It brought them back to normal. Like, I have seen, for example, right? One case is that one person who lived with me, she got sick from the spiritual encounter. She says she saw stuff. And then after that, she got a high fever and such like that. I used what I knew back then on her and tried to fix it. And I fixed it. Like, in 3 days, she's like back alive and revived and no problem. You don't even need medicine. And it's like, wow, I actually fixed the problem. So the more I encounter, the more I start to help people, I started to realize, hey, that power that I've been working with is actually real. Because there's like people around me that got problems and I can solve their problems. Look, it's like a medicine, right? You got sick, you eat the medicine, you feel well again. Wow. That's what brings me into deeper interest. I want to seek for the truth. Like, what is actually going on? What is actually out there? How does it actually work? It's like, yeah, the magic work, but it doesn't explain to me about the whole world, like, how come, like most people would have these questions. Why do we dream? What's going on in the dream? Where are we? And like, when we die, where do we go? I already have that thought in my mind. I know dying is not the end. Or else, if dying is the end, right? After my father died, how come that stuff come over? And I see things. So there could be like a part 2 or a continuation that comes after you're dead. That could be my father, right? And I'm like, so you're not like you died and then you're done, you're like gone and like that. Yeah, maybe gone from here, but you're in another place. So what is that place? Is it like in the movies, how they show it in the movies? Well, I don't believe so, because it doesn't really make sense to me, and I want to know the truth. So, with many years of banging around here and there, I did learn a lot of stuff that I can use, but I still don't have the exact answer to explain to myself about how the whole thing works. Where do I go? And there's no way for me to prove it. Like, I mean, not prove as in like how you put it into the lab and then do tests, that kind of proof. My way of proving is like, let me go into there and take a look. You know, like, can you go into the ghost world and take a look? I want to see it. I want to go inside and take a look, get a preview. So at least I know where I'm going, like that. And this has been a long journey. So, yeah, I keep helping people and using what I know for a long time. Until when I was, like, actually doing this stuff as a career, right? I started helping more and more people. I started to have more experience. And, of course, I have a better master that teach me. And I got more knowledge. I got more advanced, and eventually there was this like stage of advancement that leads me to achieve what I call the celestial vision. And there's more. Celestial vision, like vision, is only one. There's more. You can even hear, touch, interact, walk around other worlds. When I achieved that ability to travel to other spiritual places, including the spiritual side of other people's altar, like people are attacking me with magic, I can go to their altar spiritually and see stuff there and deal with things there and fix the problem and win the battle. Oh, how do I know I'm actually doing it? Like, is it my own imagination? Well, no, because the thing is, I got hit, right? I got hit by the magic, and I can tell I got hit because I got sick, really sick. And I fixed it myself by using that method to go there and knock them down. So I KO the guy, that other side, I KO their altar, and I won the battle, and I get well again. Instantly, you feel okay again. That is amazing. That feeling of being able to travel to the other side, knock them down, and then get well again, that is a proof to myself. It shows me what's real, right? What's actually going on. And because of that experience and that advancement, I can see more than just altars. I can see I can see their God. I can see their troops, like the spirits that fight for them. I can see those things. Then it's like, wow. And then the more I go, like the more I experience, I started to see more worlds, more spiritual things. And I went through a few years of like intense interaction with other spiritual gods, right? Their worlds of life. Like I have went through interaction with them for a few years, a lot of interactions, and I've learned how those worlds work because I was inside there doing stuff, interacting with them, and so on. So there's like a lot of experience. And then eventually I also see like the ghost world part where the ghosts go, where the people that got enslaved after they're dead, they get enslaved by other spiritual tyrants, and I actually see those places. And then I was like, wow, holy crap. So with all that experience, it fulfilled me. It gave me the clear picture, the clear way. Because it's not just like, there was an old man a few thousand years ago that said this, and that's why it's right. I'm like, that's bullshit. Right? People believe in Taoism these days make me laugh. Like, they're like, there's this old man, white hair, right? And he's like from a few thousand years ago, and well, he is just, wise. So he wrote a book, and we are now going to follow his teachings. I'm like, what the hell do you know about this guy? Nothing. Not even a biography. Like, you don't even know much about this guy. And how is his word more wise? I don't get it. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. But you know what? What I have went through is really the gem. It brings me answer. It answers what I have trying to know and prove to myself for my whole life. That's what's fulfilling. That's why I want to be like a professional in this, because it gives me answer. And also, what's even better, it gives me security. The security of feeling like you know where you're going after you're done here. And you know where, like maybe let's say your relative, right? You know where your relative will go after after they're dead. You know where they will be going. If you have a cat, a dog, and they die, you won't be like crying and like, sad and all that, because you can see them. Like, oh wow, you just went into the altar. Now you're going here, and next step you're going there. I know where they're going. I can see it. It's like so safe, right? That feeling is so safe because it's like you're not feeling lost anymore. Can science give me that? No, it cannot. Science don't have these answers. They are still trying to figure out, and they're not into that. That's the thing. Like, science do not believe, and they're not into that stuff. That's why. Well, even if they are into that, they won't find the answers. I can tell you right up, they cannot find the answers. It's not because they suck. It's just because science is not for this matter. Like, you're using a screwdriver and you're trying to chop a tree. It's the wrong tool. Use the screwdriver for what it's supposed to be for. Science is a screwdriver. Don't use it to chop the tree, right? Religion brings you the answers. And of course, not everyone that practice Taoism will be achieving as much as I do and see all that stuff. A lot of people just cultivate for their whole life and don't really see anything. It's fine. To me, really, it's fine. Because being able to see or witness all that stuff is not a common achievement. It's a very, very rare achievement, right? It's not supposed to be something that everyone can do. Because first thing is, you need to commit a lot. And secondly is like, you need to have that connection. The reason behind why you will be seeing all these and knowing all these stuff. Why are you actually having all these powers? If you're meant to be, then you'll be having those. If you're like just curious, you won't have that. So after I have achieved all that stuff, got my answers, then it's like, why am I the one that will have all these powers? Why am I like, the chosen one or what, right? And then eventually I find out my role. Like, what am I supposed to do? Why am I having all these things, right? Then it becomes like another question. Why do I deserve all these things? What am I supposed to do? That brings me to realizing my mission of this life. That's why I'm a Taoist master right now. Anyway, timer is up, and we have to see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.